Hi.
How are we doing?
Hi.
Cool. Nice to see you all. Nice to see your faces. Nice to hear some humming and singing over there somewhere.
Sorry.
No, that's what we do, right? It's all good. What's up, everybody? Let's see. Let me pull up the questions from um, today's comments. Okay. So I'll just start here, and then you guys post your questions as they come up, and we'll just go from there. Okay, so first, Mikey says, does Catch the Moon ever accept instrumentals? Thank you. We do, but it's very rare. Just because when people come to us, they usually know that we have the songs and we have the instrumentals, and we do get asked for instrumentals simultaneously.
I think what it was.
We do get asked for instrumentals often, but they're in kind of like a song format. So they're the instrumentals for the songs. And when people come to us, they know that that's kind of what they're getting. That's why they're coming to us. They're looking for those built out progressive song instrumentals. And so not just like some libraries that might have more composer side of instrumentals and other kinds of instrumentals. So it just kind of depends on, you know, what kind of instrumentals you're creating. And yeah, we do sign instrumentals rarely if they are also, you know, like more hip hop or rap instrumentals, something that's like a little more like hard hitting, that sort of thing. You know, it fills out a space in our catalog. Okay, so Andrea said, hi, Sonnet, with the female empowerment songs that are already in Catch the Moon catalog be included in the playlist that you'll send to this music supervisor this month, or only newly? We'll include ones that are already in our catalog as well. So it won't just be people from to the month only. David says, hi, Sonnet, just out of interest, do you find that a song with a female vocal is more popular in sync than a male vocal? And is that a factor in different genres in sync? I assume it's all about the song and how it's performed, but just wondering if you notice any trends. You're right, it's all about the song and how it's performed and what the brand is and what it's needed. And, you know, I would say like more masculine car ads go for more like a masculine sound. So that's rarely going to be a female spot. You know, it's going to be like a more rugged male centered vocal. But just for that, for as many as there are searches that come in like that, there's also the like female driven centric sort of vibe as well. And we just did a search for a beer spot. They had female centered and male centered. So you know, you never really know, especially right now, as there's a lot of light towards this female empowerment and taking that space up in society and just politically. So there's always room for both. And it just depends on what really is going to benefit the song, where's the song land, the integrity of the song, and then it, you know, has to do with what the brand is. And yeah, so there isn't just one or the other that works. Let me see. Amber says, any updates on the location of the July conference? If not, are there areas in LA you would recommend for lodging for those of us not familiar with LA? Okay, so I'm looking at a spot in Hollywood, on the edge of West Hollywood this coming week. It looks like it'll be that spot. We're just kind of making the final details now. We've gone to a lot of places, so we're really trying to dial it in. And I would say, if you haven't been to LA, some great spots to look at that you can get around easily, like West Hollywood area, I like, because you're not right in the thick of Hollywood, but you can get there and you can get down to the beach and you can get to downtown and you're kind of in the middle of everything. Sort of mid-city is good. I don't know if there's like, you know, what the hotel situation is. I think West Hollywood probably has more. And then if anybody else has suggestions, I mean, Hollywood is always an option. It's just congested, but actually if you've never been here, then maybe you want to go and like really experience that. So
Manhattan Beach, come on, that's beautiful.
Manhattan Beach, yes, Manhattan Beach is gorgeous. Who said that?
That's me, Oz.
Is that where you live?
All the time. How you doing, lady?
I'm good. How are you?
Just fantastic. Thanks. Very good. Sorry to interrupt you. I just
No,
wanted
no,
to.
you're good. Do you live down in Manhattan Beach? Because it is gorgeous.
You know, if I lived in Manhattan Beach, I'd come visit you. But no, I live in New Jersey where it's snowing right now. I mean, I could point my camera outside and you'd be like, oh, yeah, just stay over there.
Yeah. Well, it's pouring rain over here, and in Manhattan Beach, it's pouring rain too. Manhattan Beach is gorgeous. It's just further away. So, yeah, I love it down there, but it's harder to get around unless you have a car. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I know. I've seen the pictures. You guys are in it for sure over there.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does. Yeah, it's not. I couldn't get into my studio for a couple of days, and it's trust me, that's not fun. So
yeah, no, like everything is kind of stopped over there, including I guess Justin Timberlake canceled his show last night, even.
Yeah, he called me up and told me about that. No, I'm
yeah, did he? He called me too. He was busy calling us. Yeah, we had a good chat. It was good. Okay, so if anybody else has ideas that they want to share with Amber, I would say West Hollywood area, right around Hollywood. Those would be some like good areas, and it'll also be close to the location. Sam says, I'm still trying to wade through how I can pitch songs that I co-wrote and produced with other artists that have a company managing the other half of the song. So I get now that it's not one stop because they have to go to the other party to deal with their share of the master. I guess, does that need to be very clearly stated in my emails? Will that scare many parties away from listening to the songs? Is it so hard to work around in my mind, I think, due to not having a way to talk directly with other licensing companies? I don't know them. And with co-writers, it has become a gray area that I didn't want to keep pushing the topic. Maybe I'm making bigger deal. Okay, the song is great, and they don't need it to be one stop because there aren't some parameters around it that the network has put in place, or, sometimes they'll just specify we need one stop songs, that's it. And there's just nothing else you can do around it. For the most part, if a song is great, they're really used to a song not being one stop. So they love one stop songs because it makes their life easier. But also a really great song that's perfect for the spot makes their life easier. And if it's going to clear without a lot of issue, and they just have to clear it from two parties, but nobody's going to cause them a pain, then it's fine. So you don't have to be like, so sorry, this isn't one stop. You don't have to apologize for it or feel like you're doing something bad because of it. You just have to be you just don't let them know that it's one stop, because that'd be misleading. You can say I represent 50%, and the master zone between like me and somebody else are represented by me and somebody else. You don't have to just highlight it and like lead your email with that. It's more just like when you're giving the breakdown, you might say like 50% my publishing company, 50% this publishing company, 50% my my writers, 50% this writer, just so that they know when they come back to that email and they like it and they're like, I just need to know what the information here is. It gives them an idea. It doesn't mean that they're going to be like, no, not going to like it. One stop, like we really push one stop because people come to us knowing that we have great songs that are one stop. And you can't go to a lot of places that are, because labels are involved, and labels usually, have big names on them. There's a lot of writers. They're all represented by different people, and it's not one stop. So if we want to be like, okay, well, you can license something from us for less because it's an independent artist, and it's easier to clear. So it gives us more incentive, gives them more incentive to come to us and sign, come to us and ask us for songs. Because we are, coming in on a different level than like a major label. It doesn't mean that you're, in a bad place. Let me see if there was some response to that. Perfect, that helps, great. Right, and you can have it written down like who's allowed to say what and who has administrative rights, or do you both have administrative rights, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. In other words, one stop is nice, but not a deal breaker. Exactly. Okay. Alicia says, hi, Sonnet. Just a quick question about mashups. We did a mashup for the cover submission. It's a mashup too much of a headache to clear because it involves 2 artists that have to be clear. Also, is it possible to still sign up for the July event? I can also check site. Yes, you can still sign up for the July event. Because you're in the Access program, we're kind of just waiting to push that out to other people until we know where the location is. But because you're in here, yes, it's just that the discount code doesn't work any longer. And mashups, I have never licensed a mashup, so I don't know for sure, but you would exactly how that works. But yes, you'd have to get clearance from both artists, and I imagine that they'd also have to be like okay with their song being mashed up with the other song. So not just are you doing their song, but you've done their song and you've mashed it up with something else, and they're going to have to, they probably are going to have an opinion about that. And so yeah, it can be more complicated, but if it serves something, I guess the thing is that I've never been asked for, do you have something that's like a mashup that's going to work for a license? So where does a mashup come in for licensing? Wouldn't they just kind of go into the editing booth and mash up 2 songs, unless they wanted the same singer doing it, I guess. Yeah, so I guess my question is more around who's licensing that? Where do you see something like that actually working? I'm never asked for mashups. So something to consider. Okay, Marty says, I think you mentioned last week that supervisors prefer exclusive songs over non-exclusive. If so, why, if they are just looking for the best songs? Thanks. And it's not that they prefer exclusive over non-exclusive. It's just that there are certain circumstances where exclusive works. Exclusive is what is asked for. So like a lot of networks want only exclusive songs for blanket licensing. A lot of supervisors, they don't necessarily need it to be exclusive, because even if it's exclusive with Catch the Moon, if we only represent 50% and there's another half, like maybe the publishing is represented by somebody else, and so that's another 50%, we are exclusively representing 50%, but somebody else is representing, so they could get it from 2 different parties. So it doesn't really it's not really like another deal breaker. I would say when they want something to be exclusive, it's because of legal reasons. And so it's usually something big and corporate, like a network that needs to just cover their bases. And so if they know all these songs are exclusive, there's going to have a blanket license. They can pick from any of these songs at any time. There's never going to be an issue that somebody else owns a part of it and that they need to go get this okayed over here or over there. That really works for the exclusivity. Also, they want to know, sometimes these supervisors want to know, I'm the first one to get this, or like I have some sort of, I'm breaking this song sort of thing. But that's more like if you're a huge artist and there's a chance, if you've already released a song and maybe only a couple hundred people have heard it, it's not the same thing as like it's been on the radio, but it's about to hit the radio sort of thing. That makes sense. Okay. Brian says, in other words, yes, pretty sure matchup would be a derivative work. Okay, Sam says, have you guys had any ops already to pitch any of the covers you guys signed? I guess that was only last month, maybe too soon for the question. Yes, it's not that covers come in so often, but when we do pitch them, like we proactively pitch the covers, people like to download them because they want those on file. So it's something that like they'll put in their library. Cool. All right, so you guys saw my post about the song that just got put on hold. Interesting for Up From Here, which is really exciting. We never know how those are going to go through, but fingers crossed. It's always exciting. This is a new show I want to go after. How do you find the type of music you should pitch? Also, how can I get in touch with the Music Soup in a more creative way?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Tell me.
Like just typing this stuff. I want to talk to you,
Yeah.
So all right, Mike, I have kids. I don't know if you knew this. So I have two boys, and they're 12 and 15, and they're like into like all the Superman stuff. Okay. And so there's a new Superman show that's out. Now, I've always wanted to either be on a Star Trek episode. I would love to be on the Star Trek episode where I get killed, the first guy. But I would love to have my music in it as well, right? But if I can get killed on the first episode, like first scene, that's just fantastic. And then I also always wanted to be or have my music in like a Superman show. And there's a new one that's coming out called Krypton. Now, I told my kid, he said, Dad, you got to get your song in this stuff because, you know, and he told me like who the music supervisors are. This kid did all this research for me. It's freaking
Oh
awesome.
my God, you're amazing. You have like the best assistants ever.
That's what I'm saying. So that's pretty cool. But I have no clue. Like I still haven't learned from you all the things that you do to be who you are and to be all that you do. So I think that's awesome that you can do it, but I have no clue how to do it. So,
well, I would say, first of all, just what you said, me being me, you being you. So what I'm going to say is a lot different than what you're going to say. You're going to say, like, maybe you, like, include a picture of your kid, or maybe you say, like, they, you know, my assistant is 10 years old, found your information, like, play up that angle, or have them, like, draw a picture that you somehow take a screenshot in there of, like, you know, your song playing on Superman, or, you know, whatever it might be that kind of breaks through the noise and it tells your story and is really personal. Like, that's such a cute story, what you just shared. If somebody wrote me that, you know, it would break through, but also you don't want to send this huge description of it. I would send like a colorful photo that grabs their attention to make them want to read a couple sentences.
okay. I can do that. That sounds pretty cool. I like the concept. That's awesome. Now the next.
No, I didn't come up with that. That's what you just told me.
Oh no.
I'm telling you that.
All right, I'll take that for $1. That's awesome. And then the next trick I got to figure out is like how in the world to find the music that they're going to be using for it. Because like I said, it's a brand new show. I mean, I could take it off of some of the old Superman shows that they've done and maybe just take that as a cue. But
Oz, I happen to know that they have trailers for that series coming out already.
yes.
So they have some music in those. You know, a lot of it's kind of cinematic type of stuff. But I think that should at least help you get the vibe. So I would go looking for those trailers.
Yeah.
And you should
We
be able
did
to
that
track
today.
it
We
out.
saw a lot of like that rock pop type of sound. Plus, you know, they've got the standard trailer stuff in there, right?
Yeah,
So,
it looks like they're going for kind of a younger demographic, almost like comic books meets Twilight kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be willing to bet that the moody emo stuff is going to fit well.
So Sonnet, that brings me to another question then. So are we for something like that, should we be sending like full tracks with vocal, or should we be sending instrumentals?
I mean, it really depends, because if they're licensing from an artist, most of the time they're going to want like a song, because they're going to be paying you more. If they're just doing like a cue instrumental piece, they can get that from a library. If your stuff is in a library, or if you're doing like a really small fee sort of thing for an instrumental, unless it's this huge epic instrumental that they're using that you've composed, you know, they come to you and they're like, can you compose this piece? But the song is going to be the thing that like carries a scene, or the special thing that they're looking for that's going to actually get you that fee. So I would lead with a song. Maybe tell them you have instrumentals, but lead with these songs that are going to make an impression. Instrumentals are something that they can look for and fill in the gaps.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. Keep us posted on how that works.
Can I follow up on that question too,
Yeah.
Sonnet?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everyone. So it sounds like when you're pitching a song, you're typically pitching a single song to a music supervisor, or maybe a licensing company such as yourselves. And then if you're pitching instrumentals, it's smarter to pitch a group of them possibly to a library and establish a relationship there. Is that a general concept? I know it's not all black and white, but
Not black and white. And I would say, first of all, if you're pitching a song, you could send more than one song. Maybe send 3 really great songs, because one song maybe isn't enough to like sink your teeth into. And as for instrumentals, instrumentals have a huge place in the ad world and in TV film. They're using that all the time. It's just that if you are going to be pitching instrumentals to a music supervisor, they need to know, like, why am I going to this artist for this instrumental? What, you know, rather than just getting some library instrumental tracks. And that's because you create something special in yours. So then you can pitch them those, and you want to tell them exactly, you know, why, here's some instrumentals, this is why they work. This is, you know, why they're special from me. And the libraries, if you have a ton of music and you can put them into libraries, which I really encourage people who have a ton of instrumentals to put them into libraries, have a lot of different distribution, have different options. And Rob, was his name? Rob, yeah, that we were talking to on Tuesday, hit on that in a really good way of just having these options of distribution. And I like the idea of libraries, because somebody could just be, you know, sifting through different songs, and your song can be picked, and maybe it's not a really high fee, but maybe that happens a couple times a month, and you just have this passive income coming through for these tons of instrumentals that you've created through your life. So why wouldn't you have those in a library somewhere? And then as you're creating more songs, maybe they're more like structured songs, instrumentals that have vocals and not have vocals, you know, that sort of thing, you can be pitching really specifically and targeted. So both are true. I don't know if that was helpful at all.
That was very helpful. Thanks.
Okay, good. Let's see. I would bet that the network has a staff composer for the incidental music. Yes, that does happen a lot, right? Yeah. Okay. I pitched 3 songs to Netflix show today. It was a new show filmed in Jordan and all in Arabic, but the demographic they're aiming for is teens. Fingers crossed. I got in early, so the music super said he does not have much music yet. That's great. That's really awesome. And the thing is even if it's like they're filming it somewhere else, the music, you know, for young people, it kind of all has that, like, they look to this, to what's current with charts, sounding things that are, you know, big here in the US. I'm trying to pitch a song for the new Grey's spinoff Station 19. Chop Shop Music does the music for the show, but don't take unsolicited material. How do I go about pitching this in this case? My friend is on that show, by the way. He's very excited about it. So unsolicited is tricky, especially with Chop Shop, because you know they get a ton of stuff. So if you have their email and you can kind of look them up and figure out maybe something special about them and get in, somehow you email them and they take note. Or you have a friend who's in with them who can make an introduction. Or you have a music lawyer who can make an introduction. I mean, a lot of times if you have a lawyer or a manager, somebody that is like a good person who can make that connection, then it's no longer unsolicited. And we've had Kelsey from, not from Chop Chop, but from Secret Road on, and she was talking about how they don't accept unsolicited material there as pitching company because you just never know where it's coming from. So you can't vouch for it. You don't know, like, are these really one stop? Is this really the only writer? Are there other writers? So when you have another person kind of vouching for you and making that introduction, it helps ease their mind, helps them take that leap of faith with you a little bit better. So that's why, you know, if you have that introduction, that helps. I'm not sure 100% the best way to find the soups for each show. Are you looking on a updated registry of show credits? What's the best way? It's not like one place where you find them all, although I think that the Guild of Music Supervisors is working on something like that. So that will be cool if it does come out and they keep updated on that. But there's not just one place, and it's usually out of date, or a lot of times out of date, and then they update it after the fact. And so it's like you can Google things, you can see things in the trade magazines, articles, like you sometimes see like, oh, this new show, and then it'll mention the music supervisor. If you Google the show's name and music supervisor, sometimes an article comes up. You just have to be creative. I always think someone knows someone knows someone. I try and follow a chain back to get to that person. Add names in the email of who referred you. Might be a better chance. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Cool. Let me see, were there any more? No, I got all the questions here.
Hey, Sonnet, are you familiar with a company called musiclibraryreport.com?
Sounds familiar. Is it the one where you get tons of emails? I mean, mail?
I just found out about it, but don't really know what it is just yet. So I was going to ask you
Is
what
that
it
music
is.
reports where they send you like tons of mail and they say you have money and then you're like, where is it? Is it that?
That sounds probably what it is. I just thought maybe if you had heard of it before.
I don't know. I'm not sure. What is it called? Music
It's
report?
called, let me go look at my notes really quick, and I'll put a link in the thing for you. Give me a second here. Copy and paste, if this will work. Hello, there it is. There it is right there, the musiclibraryreport.com. There you go, everyone.
I don't know. I don't think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, take a look at it and see if it's something that Catch the Moon could use. I don't know if it's something that you guys really care to know about, but I heard about it and thought that I'd like to at least ask about it first before I delve into it.
What is it?
I think it's a place where you can find out about all the different music libraries that are out there and stuff like that. So that's what I think. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I don't know either. I'm not familiar with it, but we'll take a look around and see what this is all about. Looks
Anything
interesting.
that helps the group, right? So
Yeah,
let's
totally.
figure it out together.
If you find like one or two, there's like, it's hard work. It's not just all in one place, but that's why we're all here together.
Yeah, and to the other person was asking about where do you find, I found it on IMDb, so that was just a quick one. Well, at least, my son found it on IMDb. I didn't find it, but nevertheless, so that's one. Yeah, absolutely. So.
Okay, cool. Drew says the sync report too. That's great. From Riptide, that's good. Yeah, that's worth paying attention to. Okay, peeps, gotta bounce. Tracks for Whitney, cool. Bye, Sam. Marty's gotta go teach. Okay. Yeah, cool. So these are all great resources to share. And this is also why it's awesome to share, who you find, their email addresses. I think we have a link to that in the class so you guys can see if somebody else has maybe found the music supervisor you're looking for and already has posted their contact information. We have a spreadsheet that has that in the Google Drive, I think. Let me make sure that's in the Google Drive. Yeah, I don't know actually if you guys are adding the contact information, but the music supervisor breakdown list is here. So looks like you can put some information in there or look to see if other people have put it in there and keep updating that. Anything else?
How's the little one?
The little one's good. She's really good. She's really cute.
Yeah.
She's sleeping pretty well.
I'm impressed. Like she's like actually sleep. Do you actually time this? Like, what do you do? That's insane. Like that's amazing.
Well, I like to see it just out of curiosity how long she slept for, like 5.5 hours. That was pretty good. That was the longest she slept so far.
That's intense. Wow, you're giving her Benadryl. That's awesome.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I like go and make sure she's breathing. Which is, what I do pretty much all day. I'm like, are you still alive? They're so small.
Yeah, well, the first one is always that way. By the time you get your second one, you're like, whatever, kid, you'll be fine. Yeah,
yeah, that's what everybody
don't need fire, whatever, kid, you're fine.
Yeah, I know. Like, you lighten up a lot. That's good. Because it's exhausting just to worry as much as you do.
Thanks, Sonnet. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, Lisa says, hey, Sonnet, are we going to know what specific music soups we're going to have for our 15-minute session with, or are we going to be just a random setup? Besides having stellar songs ready for July, any particular advice in terms of what is to be prepared for in our one-on-ones with these soups. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to know specifically who's going to be yours, but you will know who's going to be there for the most part, because there's always somebody who cancels last minute. We bring in somebody new, and that always happens. But for the most part, you're going to know who's going to be there. You're going to have some information about them, and that's going to give you homework to figure out, who are the people that I want to talk to, maybe after my one-on-one, who do I want to like network with, figure out who's going to be there. Besides having stellar songs ready for July, any particular advice in terms of what to prepare for our one-on-ones? You want to know about each person that's going to be there, so that even if that's not your one-on-one person, they might be there to talk about something in a smaller group. They might be there for lunch. They might be there after for the evening sessions. You want to figure out who it is that you want to know and meet as many people as possible, so that when you walk into that room, you know who's there and you know who these players are. And I think that's the biggest way that you can get prepared, and we'll have all that information closer to the date, and we'll help you with that also. Cool. Research. Yes. Got it. And also just having a clear understanding of what it is you want, because they're going to ask you that. They're going to say, what is it that you want? So knowing that, going in and being like, I've done my research. I know who my audience is. I know where I fit. And this is what I want. Cool. Anything else? Feeling good? All right. Well, we'll do this again next week. I love these questions. I love this discussion. I like you guys chatting away here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Hi and bye. Have a great day. Bye.
See you guys.